page today. We got the answers to your questions, and police now with a different story on the dog shot and killed by officers. 10 dead, 7 people now recovering, and new tonight, we know who the gunman was. Today's mass shooting has us asking about security at borderland colleges.
People who commit these types of heinous crimes, they don't care what the law says. They're going to do whatever they plan on doing. Many of them don't even plan on living after these events. ABC-7's complete coverage, all students and parents want to hear tonight. Plus,
there's people like us that have been waiting for 2.5 years, and I have friends that have been waiting for longer, and it's just not right.
Still waiting for affordable housing, while others who make a lot more money already got it. We've made the calls, sent the emails, knocked on the doors, looking into possible flaws in the housing system. And NIchole, how's that weather looking?
A lot of different events taking place this weekend. I'm tracking changes to the forecast. Rain chances go up and cooler temperatures. I'll talk about the details in your Storm Track weather forecast.
Thanks, NIchole. Get ready. ABC-7 at 9 starts right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley at Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC-7 at 9 on the El Paso Las Cruces CW.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on ABC-7 at 9 on the CW. I'm Bob Harp. We'll have your top stories coming up in just a little bit. But first, as always, checking in with Storm Tracker NIchole Gomez. You said it was going to be warm, and it was again today. We didn't beat any records or anything, did we?
No, we didn't. Warm and beautiful, as we mentioned, and another nice warm day tomorrow. But I'm tracking those changes to the forecast. But currently it's nice out there. We're under clear skies, temperatures still in the 80s, but those changes, they're on the way. Details coming up in just a bit, Bob.
All right. Thanks so much, NIchole. We appreciate that. Well, mourning tonight for those killed in the country's latest mass shooting. This time it happened at a community college in Oregon. Now we know 10 people were killed. 7 are still in the hospital tonight. And we also know, new at 9, the name of the gunman.
Our thoughts and prayers are not enough. It's not enough. It does not capture the heartache and grief and anger that we should feel.
President Obama with the remarks made late this afternoon, a speech he is all too familiar with, unfortunately. Tonight, I can tell you the suspected shooter confirmed dead, and we now know he has been identified as 26-year-old Chris Harper Mercer. A neighbor telling news outlets tonight Mercer would sit alone on his balcony with the lights off and simply seemed unfriendly.
Officers from around the county immediately responded to the college. And upon arriving there, they located the shooter in one of the buildings. Officers engaged that suspect. There was an exchange of gunfire.
Well, this all started just before noon El Paso time. Police radios in Roseburg, Oregon, erupting with the horrific reports. The images show a campus in chaos, ambulances rushing the wounded to the hospital. And we do know again, Mercer was killed in an exchange of gunfire with police there. Now, we also reached out to UTEP officials today to talk about security at this university. A university spokeswoman says UTEP has various initiatives in place, including campus awareness and public safety preparedness exercises. She says the safety of UTEP students, faculty, staff, and visitors is the university's primary concern. In the coming weeks, UTEP will host open forums where members of the campus community can actually share their feedback and suggestions on what to do as something like this happens. Over in Las Cruces, our New Mexico mobile newsroom on the NMSU campus today, we spoke directly to the school's police chief, who says as soon as he heard the news from Oregon, he notified all campus security. The chief telling us while NMSU has many security measures already in place, it's a sad reminder that his force needs to be ready for anything at any time, and he tells us more can always be done to protect those on campus.
Unfortunately, this case just shows that our work is still just beginning. We've got a lot more we have to keep doing.
Well, NMSU, by the way, is now checking bags on campus and at football games as well. And we checked into it, and state law in New Mexico allows students to bring a gun on campus. However, they have to leave it inside their vehicle. And that very issue sparked the discussion at schools across the state of Texas, including El Paso's community college. We learned that the school's police department conducted a test today, and the police chief says other training exercises are common. Now, ABC-7's Jerry Nahara was at EPCC today, and he spoke with the police chief live tonight in our newsroom. Jerry, what'd you learn today?
Bob, when I arrived on campus, the shooting in Oregon's community college was all everyone was talking about. Police Chief Jose Ramirez tells me today's shooting is a stark reminder that shootings can happen anywhere, anytime. He tells me the school has tested their campus emergency alert system today. The law enforcement veteran says all of the campus police officers have gone through several active shooter training sessions. Ramirez tells me they constantly prepare for a worst case scenario. On the students' end, the shooting has once again sparked a conversation about allowing guns on campus.
With concealed carry, we wouldn't be totally defenseless because it does take time for the police to react.
My wife and I both go to school, so I'm going to do everything I can to protect myself and her, her more than me.
All the students I spoke to tell me they feel relatively safe on campus. We've also found out both UTEP and community college has tips on active shooter situations. We'll have a link to those on KVIA.com. Bob?
All right, Jerry, thanks so much. Live in our newsroom tonight with a story that you are talking about on Facebook. We have several posts on this story on our Facebook page and updates on the stories. Tell us what you think, and if you're a student at a local university, do you feel safe on campus? Also, at KVIA.com tonight, our complete coverage continues. We have a link to a story that lists 45 mass shootings in the U.S. this year, and that is really defined by 2 or more people who were shot or shot at. Well, ABC-7 continues to work the story that has you asking questions, a different shooting. The new information that we got late this afternoon on the police shooting, the one that left a dog dead in northeast El Paso, it does not match what police reported last night. Today, a police spokesman tells us the dog was on a chain. This is a picture of the dog's owner shared with us yesterday. Now, we brought you the live coverage from Cockrell and Rushing yesterday on ABC-7 at 6. And this was while the officers had the scene blocked off just down the road from Veterans Park. What we learned today, again, contradicts what a police spokesman told us last night. We were told the dog was not restrained and that it attacked an officer. That story also backs up what the dog's owner told us while we were on the scene. And he told us the dog was on a chain. Well, police saying it turns out the officers did not see the chain because the dog was under a trailer. We also learned that 2 officers shot the dog. The pit bull was hit 4 times, not 6, as the owner told us last night. Again, ABC-7 asked for the details on the officers who shot the dog. We've learned they were a 2-year veteran and a 7-year veteran with El Paso Police. We also found out both are still on duty and they were not placed on administrative duty. New this evening, this is the man police say caused the deadly wreck over the weekend. 28-year-old Etiel Porras is charged with intoxication manslaughter and intoxicated assault. Police saying that he ran a red light at Lee Trevino and Treywood Sunday morning, crashing his truck into another car. A passenger in that car, 25-year-old Adrian Reyes, was killed. The driver of the car was also hurt. Well, tonight on the KVIA.com Facebook page, Brandon commenting on one of our news updates, referring to the man arrested, Etiel Porras, saying, "Hope he gets punished to the full extent of the law. My friend Adrian is no longer here because of this guy. Rest in peace, Adrian." And speaking of traffic, if you were caught in this mess on the west side this morning, here's why. Police saying a semi-truck with a flatbed flipped over on Trans Mountain at I-10. No word of any serious injuries, thankfully, but the intersection was closed for about 2 hours. Good news is, there anyway, all is back to normal. Let's give you a live look at traffic tonight with our TxDOT traffic cameras. We do know there are a lot of scheduled closures over the next few months along I-10. We're expecting another one tonight, I-10 East from downtown to the Piedras or Spaghetti Bowl area. So if you were eastbound tonight, just be aware that you might be caught in the mess. So avoid I-10 East from the downtown area, again, all the way to the Spaghetti Bowl. If you're on the west side, I suggest taking Mesa to Montana, and then Montana to 54, or getting back onto I-10 at Trowbridge. That's what I had to do the other night. NIchole, I'm learning all new shortcuts and routes, and I've lived in the city forever.
You know all the back streets, the side roads.
You know, I mean,
know all of it.
We're from Northeast. I mean, I know Central pretty well, but now I really know Central. You know?
Me too. Isn't it easier? Like, do you know street names, or you just know how to get there?
I'm pretty good with street names.
Not me. I just know how to get there. there? Don't ask me for directions because I can't tell you.
Yeah, where the one building is. Turn right, yeah.
Where the blue building is.
It's the blue one.
But the forecast looks great for tonight. As you just saw on our text.traffic cameras, clear skies, and we're not seeing any rain out there. Mostly clear, and temperatures are also nice and comfortable. So tonight, the forecast looks great. But let's get you all caught up on that dangerous storm Joaquin, Category 4 hurricane, which continues to batter the Bahamas, and it's expected to continue, I should say, to do so for tomorrow. So let's get you up to date. Wind speeds currently at 130 miles per hour, and the movement out of the west at 3 miles per hour. If it continues in this direction, it's expected to dump heavy rainfall on the East Coast by this weekend. But of course, we'll continue to keep you up to date on the hurricane. By the time it makes it to the East Coast, it should be downgraded to a tropical storm. But again, we're under clear skies here in El Paso, Las Cruces, throughout the entire region. 80 degrees TRC, 77 in Alamogordo. We're at 68 in Ruidoso, and 75 the current temperature in Las Cruces. And on our ABC-7 WeatherNet site, sponsored by the Mattress Firm, just outside of the ABC-7 studios, we're at 83 degrees on the west side, and the Texas Tech Health Science Center also sitting at 85 degrees. So coming up, it will be another pleasant night. Cooler temperatures are on the way, but we'll talk about those rain chances by the end of your weekend into early next week. That's all coming up, Bob.
All right, thanks, Nicole. Here's the story that has people upset tonight. Living in public housing while making thousands of dollars more than the cutoff limit. El Paso is ranked number 2 in the U.S. by a new federal audit when it comes to the number of offenders. 82 families who make more than the limit are living in public housing. And one El Paso family makes more than $90,000 a year. That's $40,000 over the limit. This information, again, has a lot of you upset. ABC-7's Josie Ortegon reports.
I think it's not right. People like me, I have 4 kids struggling with a job. I just, quit my job. I had to. And they're taking advantage of it.
Sarah Garcia has been waiting 2.5 years to get public housing. She was furious to find out there are more than 80 families making more than the income limit.
Not right. There's people that are waiting that really do need the help.
The 2014-2015 audit by the Office of the Inspector General found 25,000 over-income families nationwide, meaning they made more than the income limit to qualify for public housing. Texas has the second highest rate in the country, and the Housing Authority of El Paso has the highest in the state.
It's pretty shocking. You would hope that public housing would go towards families that do need it more than others.
A breakdown of the report shows the median income limit is between $30,000 to $40,000. However, at least 3 families made well more than $70,000. One family makes more than $90,000. That's $43,000 above the limit. Now the question is, how are these over-income families allowed to live in public housing? The Housing Authority says they meet the income limit when they apply. The Housing Authority actively monitors income levels, but HUD regulations only require families to be eligible at admission, not afterward.
There's people that are waiting.
The Housing Authority says it's in full compliance with HUD regulations, but for people like Sarah Garcia, that's not enough.
They need to investigate more in the people. They need to see how much they're making, and they really need it to give the people that are really waiting for it. They really, really need it, not people that are taking advantage of it.
And that was ABC-7's Josie Ortegon reporting for us tonight. Again, Nicole, people on our Facebook page not happy with this information. Let's go ahead and get to some of those comments right now.
Like James says, kick them out, audit the El Paso Housing Authority for letting this happen. And Joanne says there needs to be more investigations on these families.
And Jose saying they barely found this out. All you have to do is cruise through the projects and see the new Hummers, Mustangs, and Corvettes they have. Juice saying just goes to show how some families that have a good income are getting away with things, and the least fortunate don't get anything at all. I bet that there is more than 82.
And Wendy says those 82 high-income residents should have to provide tax records for all those years, along with pay stubs, and be fined for every day they lived in public housing. And Jilly says, lovely. Meanwhile, single-parent households that are indeed low income are being put on a long waiting list. Way to go, El Paso.
Al saying, I'm sure administration is aware of these folks living in these homes. Until policies are changed, they will continue to do so. Mary saying, and who is at fault for this? And people who really need low-income housing are on a waiting list for years. Shake my head.
And Eddie says, this doesn't surprise me one bit. Joanne, so what are they paying? They go based on income, so they must be paying higher rent than the lower income housing residents.
All right, tell us what you think. This is a hot button issue tonight on our Facebook page. All right, switching gears entirely. Chris Farley, remember him from SNL? Well, he helped make it a household name, and that name is coming back. Take a look at this.
All other tropical storms must bow before El Nino.
Oh, yeah. I had to bring this back, Nicole. Tonight, the Storm Track weather team saying El Nino is about to make for a frigid winter in the borderland. And I love how excited you were when I brought back this little clip, Nicole.
He's one of my all-time favorite comedians. But not only is the East Coast expecting changes this weekend, so are we. I'll talk about those details in Storm Track weather.
El Nino. This is ABC 7 at 9 on the CW. We'll be right back.
Let's throw it again, counselors. And I agree with...
I will not give him the credit he probably sought